My name's Jasmine Ali. I'm a member of the NTEU here at Melbourne Uni. I'm a PhD student as well. Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge the land that we're meeting on, the land of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. It's very important in terms of our acknowledgements, recognising that the land we're on is stolen land. The theft, the genocide, the dispossession, many of those same structures and horrific processes that we're seeing unfolding before our eyes in Palestine today, Indigenous people across this continent were the first victims of here and still bear the consequences of them in many ways, in terms of black deaths of custody, in terms of child removal, and also in terms of policies like the Northern Territory intervention that the Labor government actually currently now is still pushing ahead with some aspects of it, like income management in the Northern Territory. So we stand in solidarity with Aboriginal people in the struggle today, and building those links and bonds of solidarity are incredibly important, and particularly for unionists as well. I'd also like to make a note today about also why we're here today. So obviously many people here have probably, I can assume, been attending the rallies over many weeks since Israel's bombardment of Gaza. It has been horrifying for many people to see, and I think in Australia as well, seeing the serious attempts to gag opposition, to gag criticism. Here on our very campuses, it's been posed very starkly with things like the IHRA definition that's been adopted by the university. And there are major links and research partnerships that are underway with Lockheed Martin, which plays a direct role, actually, is directly linked to the atrocities that we're seeing in Gaza, right this very minute. And it's important to recognise on all levels this silence, I think. Anthony Albanese, who has been complicit, I think, very clearly in the genocide, and we have to be clear, it is a genocide, what's taking place. We shouldn't be afraid to say it, and we need to stand proud and strongly and talk about what's happening, because, like I said, there has been just so many attempts to shut it down. And as union members, we take a lot of inspiration, like I said, from the resistance that has never really stopped in this country, by Aboriginal people and by Palestinians as well. We take a great source of inspiration from the resistance to settler colonialism and occupation there. So I don't want to, take much more of the time. We have very honoured to have our speakers with us today. People would have seen Nasser Mashni, who's been in the media as well, organising some of the demonstrations, who's been staunch every step of the way. We have Dana Al-Shahir, who's also here, Palestinian activist in the University of Melbourne, and as part of organising the really fantastic demonstration. I think it was a week or so ago now, where lots of people came out. I think it was probably the first protest on this campus, I think, since the genocidal attacks have begun. And we also have Lachlan Batchelor, who's with AFIDA, which is Union Abroad. Lachlan's going to be our first speaker. He's the lead organiser. He's going to be telling us and giving us some reports from Palestinian unionists on the ground and talking about ways that we can build solidarity today. So without further ado, I'll give it to Lachlan.